Hello, hello. Welcome to the Sledge Guide, and not just one, all three of the current sledges all the way up to the Mistlands. This will continue to spoil a lot of stuff, all the way through everything. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch the video. But, I will say one thing, I highly recommend to make Stagbreaker and Iron Sledge. Some characters can go make the Demolisher, others not as much. But let's go get into why. First, some basic information about the video. I'm going to be going over a bunch of my own videos as sources for a lot of different benefits that these sledges can give throughout the biomes. So you see the video title over here. Yeah, I'm going to be going over that. Second, let's talk about some basic aspects. Alright, only one regular move, no middle mouse. It is slow, it slows you down, minus 20% on your move speed. That is vicious. And ooh, is it brutal. Oh yeah. So, considering it's so slow, it's not really a general weapon. It is a niche weapon because it has a big spherical hitbox. And that verticality is really useful in certain situations. So these weapons are the king of those situations. Now I do want you to be mindful that it has 60 meters of noise on a hit. And that is a radius, so that is going to aggro the whole damn neighborhood. And you really want to be in a specific, safe operation. What type of safe situations, what safe spaces are you going to want to be in? Anywhere where there's a barrier, breakable or not, because this wonderful spherical hitbox can go through structures. Oh yeah, the true kings of cheese. Here we go. So, first off, Stagbreaker, really good in burial chambers, utilizing these breakable doors to get free hits, free kills, really good at destroying your skeletons. So good. Now, you might be thinking, hey, don't I have to make a bronze axe to get core wood? No, you can chop down pine trees with flint axe, no problem. I think even stone axe, although I never make the stone axe. So you can go get the Stagbreaker pretty easy. Just takes a little bit of extra deer hunting, a little bit extra boar hunting, but the benefits are so good. Let's watch this Stagbreaker bonking real quick. Evil bone pile through there, rancid remains through there. You can see the green. Look at that. Look at those free bonks. Rancid remains, what's he doing? What can he do? Can't really do much of anything. Just gonna bonk until everything dies. You can crouch and see if there's anything still there. Then switch to club, shield. Everything's dead. So yeah, just got that loot for free. Love that. Just amazing type of free loot. Really impressive, and makes burial chambers super smooth and super good. So it's going to pay for its own upgrades in terms of bones and the club. So highly recommend when you get your ads in the Bronze Age, upgrade that Stagbreaker. Now, it does have a little bit of pierce damage. It's got 5 pierce damage. That's never going to be really relevant. It is just a tiny bit of extra damage. It's just not good enough split damage, and split physical is just okay. It's sort of a convenience thing later on with like a porcupine, but this type of split where it's just like 5 extra pierce and it doesn't even scale with upgrading, not very good. It's just icing on the cake, really. What matters is the hitbox and the big blunt damage. Now, you're not going to really max this thing out. In order to max this thing out, you need a tool shelf to make your workbench level 5, and that requires some obsidian and iron. So because of that, because of the mountain and swamp requirements, you're going to have an upgrade by the time you hit the swamp. So don't worry about it being not maxed out. It is still going to be a beast. It is still going to pay for itself and then some. It's going to make these burial chambers so smooth, so convenient. Highly recommend making it. But it doesn't just hold up there. It also holds up when you have certain structures. Yes. So let's talk about the structures. Of course, skeleton towers, very good, self-explanatory that their skeletons are weak to blunt, just like how all these burial chamber creatures are weak to blunt. Let's go to the different structure, Grey Dwarfs. Now, Grey Dwarfs aren't weak to blunt, so look at this Grey Dwarf tower. Look at what do you think I'm going to do here? How do you think I'm going to deal with these guys? Most people would say at gear. No, I like to go inside the building and use it as a barrier, and I call that the barrier bonk. I got that from ThreadMenace, lovely speedrunner, and watching one of his regular hardcore runs, I learned this, and this is totally optimal and applicable in normal play. It is an incredible technique. Look at this. You just bonk until it's quiet. And even if there's a brute, even if there's a bunch of starred enemies, 2 stars, you can just keep bonking until it's quiet outside. Crouch to see if the enemies are still there. If it's cool, you can go outside. Even if it's 1 or 2 enemies, super manageable. Really, really convenient. I love using barrier bonk strategies. It makes these little tower encounters really fun and really silly. Definitely recommend doing that. Alright, next up, there's something really interesting that you can do with shipwrecks. See, a bunch of these Black Forest shipwrecks, and they can even appear in later biomes too, like swamps, plains. These shipwrecks, they oftentimes have sunken chests, and you can bonk these and break them underground, and you get all of their loot as they'll just manifest up onto the surface. But not just that, check this. Sometimes there are hidden parts of the shipwreck underground, which means all of the fine wood, out of all of it, you're only getting part of it if you just axe it. Now, if you check the ground with, so let's say, a Stagbreaker, or I have the Iron Sledge in my inventory right now, you can actually see those damage numbers. See that? And if you see normal white damage numbers, boom! Fine wood. Extra bits of the shipwreck underground. Oh yeah. So you can just get all of the fine wood, which is super good if you find a shipwreck really early, which means you can get your fine wood bow early, you can get your chair early, your table early for extra early comfort. It's just incredible to maximize your fine wood gains from shipwrecks early on. It's just a phenomenal feeling finding a shipwreck early. Love it. So definitely recommend doing that. Now we go into deep meadows. We're talking a certain amount of meters out, Draugr villages start generating. Oh yes, and these Draugr villages, of course, they have body piles and a bunch of Draugrs within barriers. And you know what I think about barriers and bonking? Barrier bonk. Let's check this. Whew. I mean, what can they really do? They can't. They can run around like, oh. And I've opened up a barrier. Here, I've opened up some broken walls, but they're already dead. And you can rinse and repeat this. You can use this to destroy whole sections and gather up a bunch of wood. You can use it to gain a whole bunch of bees, because there's a high frequency of beehives within the Draugr villages. Yeah, there's me oogling and ogling at that mountain. Second tallest possible mountain that can generate in the Valheim world. It's called the Hook. Beautiful mountain. Love that mountain. My favorite Valheim mountain. Moving on. Let's go here. Sorry for potato. This was in my potato era. But we're moving on to the swamp now. And this is one specific moment, because Stagbreaker, you go into the swamp. You can use Stagbreaker or Sledge. It's very good against very wily, tricky enemies that move quick or move awkwardly. So in this case, we have a blob, but we also have a bunch of other enemies that just appear right around the corner. Couldn't even tell that they were there, but I had my Sledge. Let's check this. All these enemies here, boom, Sledge, blob, it's on my head. Not even gonna worry about it, because the Sledge hitbox deals with it. So you have blobs, you have tricky enemies that are, like, let's say, below you, even more. Leeches, you can deal with them with Stagbreaker or Iron Sledge. Of course, having a bronze mace and middle mousing them is also good. The axe is diagonal, so one can deal with them very well as well. In the Mistlands update, the sword one-handed hitbox was improved on its verticality, so you can just smack them one-handed. Honestly, versus leeches, Sledge, Stagbreaker, not as good. It's fine, but you're going to aggro a ton of things in the swamp. It's not as worth. I would recommend only using them on very, very wily enemies in the swamp, so you have annoying Surtlings that are going to dash here and there. You can just catch them anyway with the Stagbreaker or the Sledge. And then, of course, blobs and oozers that can jump up all around. Super easy to just slam them, take them out with the Sledge. What's really cool is that you can also jump up on these ancient roots, and also sunken crypts, and you can kill them like that if you maybe don't have the best of prep, let's say. Not as much poison res, not as much rested, maybe it's nighttime. You can very well cheese oozers just like that. So, very, very cool. Of course, now that we are in the swamp, we are in Iron Sledge territory. Iron Sledge, it's super expensive. It requires stuff from the merchant. It's just dummy expensive. Like, to upgrade and like max it out, so much iron, so much Emir flesh, ancient bark, all of that, but it's worth it. It is worth it because it fills in so many niches for 3 more biomes. And it is so worth it to fill those niches because the cheese is delectable. So, notice the Stagbreaker here. This is just on an early character. We're in the mountains, we're in a frost cave. Assume this is an Iron Sledge, okay? Iron Sledge in the mountains, what is it good at? Well, if you have a vantage point on the overworld, if you have a nice little rock to stand on where wolves can't get to you, if you have a multi-wolf encounter, you can cheese them on top of the rock. If you're being hunted, you can cheese them on top of the rock. Very nice. Normally, of course, at gear is the way to go, but if you're in a tricky situation and you have a nice rock that they can't get up, bonk away. Free bonks. Now let's look at this frost cave here. Of course, just like wily Surtlings and blobs, the bats are tricky and painful, super annoying, but if you have a sledge, let's check this out. Bonk, and they're gone. Just double checking. Oh, there's more, and they're gone. Just like that. We got some more. Of course, there's more, given the type of encounter that this is, and they're gone. Yes. I'm going to cut ahead a tiny bit here. See, down here at the bottom, there's this frozen lake. See this platform? They can't hit you, they can't get up. There's 2 golems there. 2 golems. There can be up to 3 down here. And what do? Well, I highly recommend you cheese them. With arrows, see, I'm using a variety of arrows, flint heads, needles, that sort of thing. Really, once they're here, you can drop down a little bit lower and start sledge bonking them and cheese them in that way. And that way you can save on your bow durability, your bow resources, and you can just sledge them for free. Highly recommend doing that with the Iron Sledge. I don't recommend going into proper melee with the Iron Sledge. Save that for the Iron Mace and the Parry Shield. They're tricky, they're very tricky in melee, but it's going to be much better experience if you fight them that way than even if you pickaxe. Pickaxing them, you slide one way, you're going to fall off. It's not as quick as just killing them with the Iron Mace with decent club levels. And you're going to want decent club levels because of all of the things that I mentioned. You'll probably have them with sledge bonking and good old club shenanigans. Mace, Iron Mace, Bronze Mace. You're going to get a bunch of club levels regardless. So, let's cut now to the plains. Oh, no. Wolves, check this. Boom! Let's watch that again. Hold on. They get up. Oh, it's too late. They're all dead. And this is especially good because you could have Ulv rooms where you open one of the gates and there's actually like 5 different rooms with like 6 Ulvs connected with them. And you have like 11 to 15 Ulvs just like run at you. Sometimes they're going to hoard up and they're going to clamber on top of each other, at which point you can only hit the bottom layer with an at-gear middle mouse. The top layer you can hit with a sledge. And the Iron Sledge, as you can see here, with decent levels, boom, that can cover that 50 damage that is required to kill an Ulv. They got 50 HP in solo play. Very, very good. Of course, If you have co-op, their HP increases if you have friends in proximity, but even then, let's look at that sneak attack damage. Of course, it's got a ×2 modifier. Nothing's fancy, but it'll cover having a few friends on with you. Get that sneak attack, and you're destroying the Ulls. Very, very convenient in that regard. Iron Sledge is just so good in Frost Caves. Love having the Iron Sledge, Iron Hat gear in there too. So nice. Moving on, we're going into the plains now. Falling towers. You think they're safe in there? I don't think they're safe in there. Barriers. We bonk. Let's check it. Like, Fullings. Oh, there's a Fulling there. Love me some bow. At gear. Bow and at gear. Super nice. But the sledge. We've got barriers in terms of these like little wooden stakes, and then of course we have barriers in these lovely stone walls that they've built up. Of course, these stone walls don't have the best durability, which means we can start bonking them and destroying them, and Fullings will just be sitting ducks. Oh yes. Now I'm going to cut ahead a little bit in this video. You can see how it starts to fall apart. Look at that, it's wide open. There's a Fulling that fell down. Oh, he's done. There's another Fulling. There he is. The whole structure's falling apart. Where's the Fulling? There's the Fulling. Bat, just bonking him some more. Bonking him indefinitely. Just constant bonk. And now the whole structure's destroyed. Look at that. Look at the way that structure is destroyed. Of course, there's a spear thrower up there. I'm not too worried about it. I have the root harness on, and then he's just a sitting duck down here. Boom, destroyed. There's another one. Done. Oh, he's got a little bit of HP. Let's check this glory kill. Boom! All the way into the river. Love it. Hilarious moment. Now, something else. Fulling camp. If you have a Fulling camp and a steep rock next to it, has to be steep, otherwise Fullings can climb up to you and on the rock, and that's no good. I highly recommend clearing out Fulling Shamans in advance with Huntsman Bow. Huntsman Bow has 4 meter aggro radius instead of 8, so you can kill Fullings and also destroy Fulling Berserkers and Shamans without a bunch of friends surrounding them noticing. Very, very convenient for your 2-star Fullings, Fulling Berserkers, start Fulling Berserkers, and Fulling Shamans. Of course, the Fulling Shamans can get to you with their fireballs. The Fulling Berserkers can break the rock, but they can't break it in such a way that makes them super easy to climb up. So, let's check out. See Fulling Shaman there. Switch to Huntsman Bow. Line up the shot. Oh, get down, Mr. President. Doesn't matter. Huntsman Bow. Huntsman Bow still got the DPS. And they're trying to climb up, but it's too steep. Look at... Boom! Free bonks. And I know I'm aggroing the whole neighborhood, but it doesn't matter. I have the root harness, which provides excellent pierce resistance for Fulling spear throwers. You know, I'm getting pelted by a 1-star even. See that 1-star there? 19 damage. That's it. I have a total of 52 armor on. 19 damage. That's nothing my food can't handle. Food rested, that HP regen, and I'm just free bonking these guys. They're just queuing up on this little crack in the rock, and it is just devastation. Highly recommend it. I mean, the Sledge is just the king of niches. I mean, look at them scatter. They can't handle it. They can't deal with me. But yeah, it's just whole cheese. This whole camp, easy cheese. That's amazing. What's really cool as well is that because you have this vantage point, the Fullings can try to circle around you, but if there's a tar pit nearby, you're probably going to aggro the tar pit, which means they're going to have a faction fight in front of you, and you're just going to demolish them after it's done. Lovely time, great entertainment. Love that. So, here we have Mistlands. Oh yes, Mistlands. Iron Sledge still pulling its weight in the Mistlands. Really good versus a couple of things, namely ticks, which are very squishy and yet very wily. Give them the old bat bonk scenario. So, wily enemies, low HP, bonk them. Secret broods, more of a nuisance than anything, bonk them. Even on the stairs or weird vertical situations, Accurate middle mouse can't really handle it. Sledge Bonk can handle it. Very nice. And it won't cost you as much resources as, let's say, an Ooze Bomb will. So just the durability, and it's got plenty of durability. So check this. Also really good at holding a line in multiplayer with the knockback, just sending Seekers back. They come back, they get bonked back again. The chip damage is real. Let's check this out. Couple of friends here bonking. Seekers, ticks, try to get in. We've got back row with Arbalest. What can they really do? I mean, we have lag on the server. This was a community server. Probably set one up for the Ashlands when that's ready. Look at this. They can't get to it. I mean, Secret, all these enemies are dying because we have just a slight vertical advantage. We have just a slight situational advantage. All of these enemies are just getting bonked for free. They can't quite get to us. The knockback is pushing them back, pushing them back. Chip damage is real. The tick gets to us, it's dead. It's dead on arrival. 1-star tick, another 1-star tick. This is probably like the third one that we've seen in this dungeon. Look at the chip damage. We have more than 5 players on, which means that they have 100% extra HP. And even so, Iron Sledge holding the line, oh yeah, big time, big time. It's also really good, of course, because y'all drop ticks, and because y'all drop ticks, you can deal with ticks with the Sledge. And Mistlands, very vertical, very craggy, very rocky. You have that verticality covered because of the spherical hitbox of the Sledge. Now, what's really good also in the Infested Mines, you have this staircase there. You can tango with enemies that are below you, or even above you sometimes, on the staircase, because of the, of course, spherical hitbox that's hitting above and below you with the Iron Sledge. So you can see this. Here's me dealing with the eggs and the broods. There's a tick behind me, and it's dead. Just the coverage, the niche coverage is so good because you get into these situations way more often than you would expect. Now, if you have a Seeker Soldier on the staircase, they can hit you above, they can hit you below. Beware of the Seeker Soldier on a staircase. It is painful experience, and I assume not only myself, but many other people have had brutal deaths to Seeker Soldiers on the staircase. Now, this is interesting. In the Infested Mines, there are a bunch of barriers, and while these barriers that are kind of breakable are really good for Ooze Bombs, because they don't break the barriers, more durable breakable barriers in the Infested Mines, like your wooden gates, and then also, of course, your indestructible Dverger sliding gates, you can just Sledge Bonk through. And it's free cheese, just default killing all of these creatures. Seekers, doesn't matter if they're starred, doesn't matter, or whatever they are, you're just destroying them in advance with the Sledge. No problem. Look, staircase kill right there. Beautiful. Destroyed. Love it. So yeah, really good in the Infested Mines. Highly recommend bringing it in. Now, we're in the Mistlands, so of course you know what's coming. We're moving on and upgrading to the Demolisher. The Demolisher, interestingly enough, it's relatively cheaper than the Iron Sledge. But even though it's cheaper, I don't really recommend all characters making the Demolisher. If you're playing a magical character, you plan on doing a mage, the Staff of Embers will have that spherical AoE covered, and you'll have much more maneuverability, which is something that squishy mages love. Demolisher is only really super good on non-magical characters. Even so, on your non-magical characters, I recommend highly that you always make a Demolisher. Not only is it going to deal with all the Mistlands things that I mentioned prior super easily, not only is it going to be really good gathering up black marble and stone, even better than anything that you've ever seen before, not only is it going to be super good returning to past dungeons like Frost Caves, dealing with Groats, so satisfying, oh my god. So satisfying dealing with tar pits, going back to them, show them who's boss. Your boss. But it is really, really nice when you have hell mines. I mean, these are mines that you want to avoid when you're first going in. But when you have good loot and good Demolisher, you can go back to them. Look at the creatures in this mine already. Oh, it's brutal. And yet, I hold this mid-range, and we hold lines with Demolisher. Look at the destruction. We got 3 players online, so the enemies have a little bit of a modifier. Boom, 2-star tick down. Seeker down. My friend couldn't hit him with the sword, but the hitbox with the Demolisher, I could hit just fine. The beautiful thing about the Demolisher as well, not just the damage is up, but the effect on the Demolisher. You can see the hitbox because of that brownish, goldenish glow that surrounds you. You can see the sphere, and that because of that, even beginner bonkers can have a beautiful, beautiful understanding of how to space correctly with sledges. And that will extend even beyond in future biomes, provided we get a future sledge. We might not, but if we do, and it doesn't have that effect, we will still have that advanced understanding of spacing because of the Demolisher hitbox effect on screen. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Love that. Now, you might be wondering, hey, it's the Mistlands. You've mentioned all of these things. You haven't mentioned any barrier bonks with Dvergers. What's up with that? And the thing is, Dverger can strike back through walls. Oh yeah, they have plenty of range techniques to hit you, and you don't really have a safe spot to deal with them. I highly recommend just fighting them with at gear or just cheesing them in any way possible. They are ruthless, and I think they're meant to be ruthless because they have faction battles with the Mistlands normal mobs, and you can just lure the normal mobs over to them and whittle them down and make them an easy fight like that. Yeah, don't recommend just going out and barrier bonking them right away. No. So yeah, look at this. Look at that. Normal hits, normal enemies. I've got eggs. I'm trying to get up there. Yes. But yeah, this is huge. I want to show this almost in full. We have a bit of a situation. Seeker soldiers. One of them's regular. One of them is 1 star. That's pain and suffering, right? Look at the Demolishers we have. So we have Bone Mess on. So we have good amount of protection. You know, I'm still rocking classic light armor. They give me secondary benefits, and I can use my skill and techniques to keep me alive with terms of taking damage. So yeah, we're just trying to keep the soldiers at a certain point and bonk them. Of course, bonking with Sledge and Demolisher is not too bad on soldiers if you have a good aggro on them with certain people in certain ways in co-op. What you can do is you can have one person take aggro, the other person can go get right up behind them or even on the side of them, and because the Sledge Bonk is so big, you can hit their weak spot, and you can keep pinging weak spots for extra damage, even if you're not technically like in that space, and that's all because of the spherical hitbox. Love it. Love that. Love all of that. But yeah, look. We're trying to hold the line with Sledge Bonk, trying to get that good. It's tough. It is tough because the soldiers are brutal. The soldiers have so much HP. Look, there's a third soldier. What an amazing time. Yeah, we end up killing these guys. Not too bad. Like, let's cut ahead a little bit. Yeah, we retreat to this area, and I just keep Sledge Bonking. I can't remember like how many thousands of damage overall in this dungeon that I sunk into enemies with the Sledge and the Demolisher. It's just brutal incident. Oh man, look at that Froster middle mouse damage though, 351. Hello. Yeah, just a vicious experience. 3 soldiers, one of them's a 1 star. Oh, pain and suffering. Let's go now to the Queen. Spoilers for the Mistlands boss, the Queen. Let's go. I highly recommend We bring in the Demolisher if you're a non-magical character. You have a bunch of eggs, and you want to destroy them and the broods ahead of time. Preferably before you aggro the queen, but there are some egg patches that are on the top platform, and you will most definitely aggro the queen before you take those out. Just make sure to do it at some point. Do it at some point, because otherwise it could become a real hassle in the future, especially when she starts calling in Seekers, and especially at 75% HP or lower when she starts doing her poison spray spawn and just spitting a whole bunch of broods and slime at you. You can take out all of those ads and all those broods with one bonk, and it's lovely. And if you're just going to take out the broods, but if there are Seekers nearby, okay, well the Seekers are going to take big damage, and the queen, unlike the Seekers, she's neutral to blunt, so she'll take some decent damage if she's nearby too. Really, really nice. Just overall, if you notice, if you're in the mid-range, she's about to do her little spew. What you can do is you can actually run up right under her belly, and she will just miss you with all of the spew. And you have a couple of split opportunities to hit the queen, and then bonk and deal extra damage, get rid of all the broods. Be careful because there's still slime on the ground, and she is going to counterattack, so you just have to watch out, get ready to... you have to get rid of the dodge. Yeah, just a lovely, lovely fight. A queen fight is now my new favorite boss. Yag used to be my favorite, now it's the queen. I love the queen. Lovely boss fight, and I can't wait to master her and be able to start posting like solo boss fights and a queen guide at some point. It's just lovely. Love this fight. Waiting for the spew. There it is. There it is. Look at how inefficient it is with the sword. 2 bonks? No, 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 no. Sometimes 3 or 4 slashes to get that. You want Demolisher. Let's see if I can get the get to the Demolisher bonk with that. Come on now. Here we go. Swap to Demolisher. I'm ready to go in. Oh! Oh no, that was a bad example. Spew. We got some spew. They're dealing with it. I love this fight so much. There it is. Extra damage and then just destruction. Love that. So yeah, dealt damage to the queen, the Seekers, and the broods, all in one. I love that so much. So good. Absolutely, absolutely make Stagbreaker every character. Every character, if you're trying to play optimally, make the Iron Sledge. I know it's expensive, but it's so worth it. 3 biomes worth of optimal strats. Please, it's so worth it. Mistlands, Demolisher, only non-magical characters make the Demolisher, but you're going to love it. You're going to make great use of it. And I'm going to do a little bit of Ashland spoilers, so if you don't want to be potentially spoiled by the Ashlands, hope you've enjoyed the video. Click off now. Thanks for watching. But the Ashlands terrain looks to be rugged, jagged, all of that. Which means Sledge Bonk and Demolisher Bonk could be pretty damn good in the Ashlands again. We'll have to see. Looks like we might have some delectable, spicy cheese in the Ashlands. But yeah. So everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned something. I hope you really liked the video. This is a long one, but it's 3 weapons. Like, pretty good, all things considered. Thanks again, and I will see you guys some other time. Bye!